Ah, yes. Ultraforce, because nothing says mid-90s superhero mania like shouting your title so loud it wakes the neighbors. Back in the glorious chaos of 1995, when every comic publisher thought they were the next Marvel, Malibu Comics decided they wanted in on the superhero cartoon gold rush. Their secret weapon, Ultraforce, a show so 90s it practically bleeds Mountain Dew. But beneath the neon armor and melodramatic dialogue lies a fascinating failure, a 13-episode fever dream where big ideas met, well, DiC Entertainment's budget. So let's dive into the brief, bombastic, and bizarre history of Ultraforce, the superhero team that tried to go ultra and instead went off grid. And for about 13 episodes, Ultraforce tried to bring that world to life. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. The Ultraverse launched in 1993 during the foil cover apocalypse. Malibu promised fresh, modern heroes powered by mysterious cosmic mumbo-jumbo like the Theta virus. And their flagship team, Ultraforce, was basically the Avengers if you replace half the logic with hair gel. Prime, a teenage goo Hulk with puberty issues. Hardcase, Hollywood actor turned superhero because Los Angeles didn't have enough egos. Prototype, corporate Iron Man with better branding. Topaz, angry alien Amazon who hates almost everyone. Ghoul, undead comic relief, equal parts funny and gross. Contrary, the seductive team leader organizer who literally floated around in a hover chair like a hot Professor X. And Pixx, the punk psychic teen who looked like she shoplifted from Hot Topic 2 years before it existed. They were edgy, diverse, and marketable. 3 words guaranteed to make DiC Entertainment's eyes turn into dollar signs. So, DiC, or as we would refer to it back in the day, DiC, and Bobot Entertainment swooped in hoping to create the next X-Men the Animated Series. Instead, we got, well, Ultraforce. During what historians now call the great superhero cartoon arms race. X-Men the Animated Series, Spider-Man, Batman the Animated Series, all killing it on television. So DiC looked at those and said, yeah, we can do that, but let's make it louder, sweatier, and slightly cheaper. The show's theme is pure Mortal Kombat energy, pounding drums, techno guitars, and random shouts of the team's name like a over-caffeinated hype man. You half expected Raiden to show up and sue somebody. The animation, not terrible, not great, just your standard 90s DiC fare. Ambitious angles, inconsistent faces, and lots of glowing fists. The writing, also solid if you define that as understandable after your second watch. The show loosely followed the comics with its emphasis on loosely featuring a battle against Lord Pumpkin, NME, and Atalon, a villain whose entire plan involves launching nukes because reasons. The animation was standard for its era, which is critics speak for stiff but somewhat colorful, and the voice acting, well, if you ever wonder what happens when Saturday morning voice actors take themselves too seriously, this is your answer. The series kicked off with a 3-parter adapting the Fire People storyline, nuclear missiles, underground mutants, and plenty of "we have to work as a team" speeches. Pixx, the team's teen psychic hacker, sacrifices herself to stop a missile from wiping out humanity, and unlike X-Men's Morph, who was resurrected faster than you can say ratings boost, Pixx stayed dead. Yeah, Ultraforce actually went there. No magic revivals, no dream sequences, no Pixx lives in another timeline, just a grave, a memorial, and the collective trauma of every kid watching Saturday morning television with their cereal spoon frozen midair. Take notes, X-Men. When Ultraforce kills a character, they mean it. And it wasn't just a fluke. Ultraforce had some real pedigree behind the scenes. Executive producer Joe Calamari, who also worked on X-Men the Animated Series, Captain America, And even Blade tried to bring that same comic book edge and cinematic ambition here. Unfortunately, that ambition was often buried under DIC's animation on a shoestring aesthetic, meaning every emotional moment was followed by someone stiffly punching an explosion or a rock. Still, let's give credit where it's due. In a show this loud, the death of Pixx hit harder than anyone expected. For a brief shining moment, Ultraforce stopped screaming and actually made you feel something. There were also crossovers with other Malibu heroes like Nightman and the Strangers, because if there's one thing the 90s loved, it was crossovers no one asked for. Unfortunately, Ultraforce debuted during the same decade as Batman, X-Men, and Spider-Man. Three shows with better animation, better writing, and, well, audiences. Basically, it was the kid at the big table who brought Lunchables to a steakhouse. And then came the corporate kiss of death. Marvel, in a move that aged like spoiled milk, brought Malibu Comics in 1994. This merger led to a series of crossovers where Ultraforce met the Avengers and everyone pretended it wasn't awkward. But behind the scenes, Marvel was quietly absorbing the Ultraverse and erasing characters left and right like Thanos' infamous snap. The cartoon stuck referencing a now defunct continuity, was basically dead on arrival. After 13 episodes, Ultraforce vanished faster than a Malibu royalty check. Today, Ultraforce survives in digital purgatory, streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime, sandwiched between Street Sharks and Skeleton Warriors. Fans call it underrated, ambitious, or the show that made my VCR explode, and honestly, it was ambitious. It tried to create an entirely new superhero mythology backed by a Mortal Kombat inspired theme song, a hover chair goddess, and a writer's room that probably had one rule: make it louder. In the end, Ultraforce was everything great and ridiculous about the 90s. Over-designed heroes, bombastic music, tragic teen deaths, and the eternal dream that Malibu Comics could play in Marvel's sandbox. It didn't last, but for a few glorious months in 1995, it shouted loud enough to be remembered. So what do you think? Was Ultraforce unfairly forgotten or just ultra forgettable? Drop a comment, hit that like button, the bell of course, and subscribe for more retrospectives and dives into the loudest corners of 80s, 90s, and 2000s animation history.